Recently, we had a message series called What to Do, where I tried to help you individually discern what God is calling you to be and to do post-lockdown. Over this coming week, I would like to highlight the need for us as a church family to corporately understand what God's will is for SBC. Like all other churches, our ministries have been suspended or at least shaken for over 4 months now. And we don't know when it will be safe and appropriate to start our groups and activities up again. And we are realistic that we aren't going to return to normal, but rather walk into the new normal, which is both really exciting, but also a tad scary. We need God's wisdom to make wise decisions for the day-to-day, but also need vision for the bigger picture so that we can make the most of this next season of life and ministry. Additionally, we need God's help and input in a couple of key areas. First, our treasurer will soon complete his 6 years serving on the diaconate, and so we need to appoint someone to replace him. This is not an easy thing to do. He has served us so wonderfully and consistently. He leaves big shoes to fill. To make the position more viable, we are looking at ways in which we can delegate some of the treasurer's responsibilities to others, so that whoever takes on the mantle of treasurer is not too burdened or overwhelmed by the role. For a good number of months, we have been praying and we have been hoping that a suitable candidate for treasurer would emerge. So far, no one has put their hand up. With time ticking, we really need God's input so that we are not left high and dry, but can have a smooth-ish transition from one treasurer to the next. Second, you know that our youth worker is leaving at the end of the month. Martha has done an amazing job in youth ministry, also in the children's work, and has helped me personally in so many ways in ministry, in crazy ways that would never be on a job description. As she leaves, we need to consider what's next for the children's ministry and youth ministry. When God made Martha, I'm sure you'd agree with me that he broke the mold. So it's not like we can just go out and get another one. We need a plan about how to organise our volunteers in the short term. Ask certain individuals to take on some of Martha's responsibilities in the medium term, and consider whether longer term we should seek to appoint a new children's, families, youth worker type person. And like a lot of these things, we need to take into account our church's financial situation, which is another thing that we can be praying into. And so we want to lift these two concerns up to God. As a leadership, we are going to meet this coming Tuesday evening to pray and to talk it through. But we would absolutely love your support. A few of us are able to commit to praying and fasting during the day. We will hopefully be here in the church garden for Tuesday prayer time, TPT, and then 1 or 2 of us will be here throughout the day. And so if you're available to come along, it'd be great to have your company and we can pray together. If you can't make it here to SBC, but can pray at home or at work, that will also bless us. If you'd like to join us in fasting, and that might mean skipping a meal or not watching TV in the evening, or maybe even giving up caffeine, whatever is appropriate for you, then I personally would really appreciate that, as I truly believe that it demonstrates a collective heart to seek the will of God for his church. As image bearers of God, we are creative, imaginative, problem-solving people. But we also want to lean into the Father, the Son, and the Spirit, who inspire us and take us to a whole different level of understanding. And so, if you do take part in some way or another on Tuesday, can I point you to 1 Corinthians chapters 1 and 2. Spend some time in those chapters, which will be a wonderful source of inspiration for your prayers. And in that vein, I finish with some verses from chapter 1. God has united you with Christ Jesus. For our benefit, God made him to be wisdom itself. Christ made us right with God. He made us pure and holy, and he freed us from sin. To those called by God to salvation, both Jews and Gentiles, Christ is the power of God and the wisdom of God. The foolish plan of God is wiser than the wisest of human plans, and God's weakness is stronger than the greatest of human strength. Thank you for listening.